Let's begin.
It's October 9th, 2021. You know what that means. It is day 9 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 10. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to ask a few things of you by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell to stay notified for any future videos I will be creating right here on this channel. Because if you hit that bell, I'm doing something new with my channel this year by doing premieres. It's giving you a heads up of what the next videos will be for the next 3 or 4 days. And hitting that bell will tell you when those videos go live. So I'm doing something brand new with that, and it's slasher week, and I did The Final Girls yesterday, and today is kind of, the back of the box is very misleading. I'm going to get to that in a second, but before you do that, go show some love to I Am the Ice Lord, the 13th Wolfman, Tony Has 9 Fingers, Random Horror, the Indie Film Cafe. We're all doing the 31 Days of Fright. I think Jonathan Moody, I think he is the Indie Film Cafe. So go over to show all of them some love and click and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, because we're all having fun, because we're doing 31 different horror movies for 31 different days in the month of October. So the back of the box says a bloody 80s style slasher movie that doesn't kid around. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, because this movie wasn't very good. I blindly bought this movie when Family Video went out of business around here. And I'm like, oh, this actually looks pretty good. And I like Scout Taylor Compton from the Rob Zombie Halloween movies and The Runaways. And she was not in that movie very much, but I really liked her in that movie. And so it's just like, oh, I'm sold. And just the premise of this movie, where a killer is killing people after the last showing of the school play of Romeo and Juliet. And it's really good. And that I love the premise of this movie. That's what I meant by this. It was really good. The whole premise of this movie is really good. I thought that was fun, but the execution of it all was terrible. None of these characters had chemistry with one another. They really didn't. I really hate to really rag on movies, because I know how hard it is to get a movie made, and just like I know, but this movie just has nothing really redeemable except for the gore, which is very out of place in this movie. Because it's like, this one girl gets her head smashed in with a cinder block, and it's like her head is just smashed on the concrete. Like, oh, they're at, and then another guy gets impaled, and you see all his guts kind of leak out of him, and it's just like, oh, that's cool. And that's the redeeming factors of this movie, is the gore. And like, it's like, I seen the twist coming a mile long. I knew all the details of the movie, and just like, it was just, I wish they would have played it more forward more than anything, like not jump around in time and revealing more information as the movie goes along. And that aspect could have been done better if that was the realm they were going to go. It's just, I just didn't like this movie. It was like I mentioned, like, the characters had no chemistry with one another. And Scout Taylor Compton really stands out in this movie due to the fact that, like, she just has a stronger presence on screen than everyone else in this movie. Like, she really, like, overpowers everyone. And I don't really notice that in other movies, but this movie, it's really noticeable. It really is. And I really hate ragging on movies. I really do, horror movies, because all movies are good in their own right, but this one was just like, no, like, it had a very good premise, and like, it had so much potential, and the execution was just not very good. You got this high school director who, drama teacher, basically, is just like, he is overstepping his boundaries like 100 times over. Like there's a way he could have approached this much better, and it's like, he just overheard some information, and he immediately is like, no, I'm rescinding my recommendation on your resume or whatever, your application to Juilliard, and it's like okay, like what? It's like this was all like just like wow, and like all the other characters, there's just not really anyone likable in this movie. It's just like I I don't mean to. I keep saying that, but it's like the chemistry in this movie. Like sometimes, like no characters like really connect with anyone. Even like the best person in this movie is the janitor. It really is, and like I think he ends up getting killed and off screen, and which is sad because he probably deserves probably one of the better screen deaths in this movie, and so I'm like, oh man, and it's like that's really honestly that's all I can say about this movie. Like I bought this for $5. I probably should have paid less. It's only 80 minutes. That's a lie. The back of the box lies. It's not an hour 20 minutes. It's more like an hour and 12 with credits. That's without the credits. I mean, so it's yeah. It's I'm going to jump in right into my horror rating. It's a run of the mill horror. It really is. It's not even best watched with a group or anything like that. It's definitely a 1. I haven't come across one of these in a while, and I like the back of the box. It really looks like it's going to be something really cool, and the whole Romeo and Juliet backdrop of being like it's the last. Their last play they get to perform in before going off to college and everything. And it was just like, oh, that sounds so cool, and the trailer makes it look so cool. And I was like so looking forward to this one. I like just like Killer Crocodile. I was holding on to this for a good while to watch for this month, and it was kind of a letdown. It really was. So that's really all I have to say about what a terrible name too. I don't even think he uses a chainsaw in the movie, to be honest with you. His main weapons are like found objects. And so it's just like, yeah, it just wasn't very good. So I'm just going to move on to tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow's movie is better. So I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short. And all I can really say is thank you.